Hey, what's going on guys? This is Jake at That Fit Friend, and today I'm going to be comparing the Vans UltraRange EXO to the Vans UltraRange Rapidweld to the Vans UltraRange VR3. Let's dive in. All right, so four major construction differences to note about these shoes because they're all housed under the UltraRange shoe line, but I don't think Vans does the best job really defining the differences and nuances between each of these models. Is number one, their midsole constructions. So over here in the UltraRange EXO and the UltraRange Rapidweld, you have an Ultra Cush Light midsole. This midsole is pretty responsive, very comfortable, and it's easy to wear all throughout the day. It has a good level of flexibility to it, and I like it as a whole. It's very lightweight. Over here in the UltraRange VR3, you have the VR3 Cush midsole. So in the VR3, it's designed to be more like the sustainable model of these three shoes. So this model is built with a 50% bio-based EVA foam, and now this midsole is a little bit thicker than these two other models, and so what you're going to expect is a little bit of a stiffer ride. Like, it still has some good flex to it, it's still very responsive, but there is a higher stack height in the VR3 compared to the UltraRange EXO and the UltraRange Rapidweld. The second difference is their upper constructions. So over here in the UltraRange EXO, you have a blend of like a rubber toe cap, a mesh, and synthetic materials that go throughout. This upper does feel a tad bit heavier compared to the UltraRange Rapidweld. This model is a little bit more subtle with its upper construction, has a more breathable mesh, and it's very lightweight. So this model does a little bit of a better job on warmer days, and it has a nice high level of breathability. Over here in the UltraRange VR3, you have a knit upper and you have a booty style construction. So you do have a booty style here. You don't have a separate tongue like in the Rapidweld and the EXO, and you have a pretty much consistent upper throughout the entirety of this shoe. And this upper has a nice level of breathability and a decent amount of stretch to it, so it does break in pretty well over time and hug the foot pretty nicely. The third major difference is the lacing and tongue constructions. So over here in the UltraRange EXO, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 eyelets that go up with an 8th back here for lace lock, and you have a thin mesh tongue. And then there's a light gusset on this tongue, and overall out of these three shoes, I actually like this lacing and tongue system the best. Over here in the Rapidweld, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eyelets going up. You do not have a 7th eyelet for lace locking, and then you have a slightly thicker mesh tongue. So you have a little bit more padding up here towards the top of the tongue, and you also have a gusset in this model. This shoe's lacing system I think does a pretty good job as well. However, I'm a little bit more preferential to the thinner tongue over here in the UltraRange EXO. In the VR3, once again, you have that booty style construction, and then looking at the lacing system, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eyelets that go up. You have a suede overlay here with the laces to give them additional security, and the lacing system in this model I find to do a pretty good job. I also like that you could slip it on really easy and you don't have to necessarily use that top eyelet like myself if you want a slightly looser and more relaxed fit. The fourth major difference to note about these shoes is their outsole constructions, and now this is important for anybody who plans to wear their shoes outdoors or for hiking or whatever it might be. So with their outsoles, you can expect a waffle tread patterning in all of these shoes. However, that tread patterning is going to be a little bit different. So over here in the UltraRange EXO, you have a full rubber tread patterning. I like that a lot because if you're going to be wearing this shoe outdoors or even hiking in this model, this shoe will do a better job at giving you grip and giving you overall durability. Over here in the UltraRange Rapidweld, you do have an exposed foam layer here through the midfoot, and now if you're going to be using this a lot outdoors, that could be problematic. Now I know that that is designed to help you save some weight. You get a good level of grip with the shoe, and I think in the gym, for example, you'll be fine in this model. And when walking around for daily wear, the shoe should do a pretty good job. However, definitely keep an eye on that exposed foam if you plan to use this model outdoors. In the Vans UltraRange VR3, you have a waffle tread patterning as well, and you also have exposed foam layers here going through the forefoot to the midfoot and then back here in the heel. As you can see up here on my forefoot, I'm already having this fade, and I've only worn this for daily wear outdoors. I've never trained in this shoe or worn it for hiking. So that is definitely something to consider with these shoes, especially if you do want to wear them outdoors a lot, is to consider the outsole tread patterning that would work best for your needs regarding overall durability. But now let's talk about how these shoes compare regarding their overall performance. So when it comes to the performance differences between the Vans UltraRange EXO, Vans UltraRange Rapidweld, and Vans UltraRange VR3, I'll discuss how these shoes perform for working out and then for daily wear and casual wear. Now those are the two verticals where I wear these shoes the most, and if you wear one of these models for additional context outside of those two, let me know in the comments below where you like wearing your Vans models. So in the context of working out, you're going to want to look into two of these shoes, and that is going to be the Vans UltraRange EXO and the Vans UltraRange Rapidweld. I would say pass on the VR3. This upper is not going to be secure enough for you, and the midsole just kind of feels awkward when training. Don't do it. I tried it. It's not worth it. So when it comes to the differences of the Vans UltraRange Rapidweld and the EXO, I think the main differences to consider are the upper security and the outsole tread patterning. So in the EXO, I think this is going to be your more well-rounded Vans model for training and working out if you plan to use one of these models for that. I like the UltraRange Rapidweld. However, one issue I've ran into with this model is that because its upper is so lightweight, I've actually spilled over in this model, and it's a little bit too low profile for my overall needs. So I'm not the biggest fan of how this shoe fits. It feels a little bit too tight on my foot, and its overall upper security I find lacking for more versatile training settings. In the UltraRange EXO, you have a slightly beefier upper construction, which helps give you additional security, and I like that the lacing system and the tongue give you a nice lockdown fit, but enough room to not suffocate your foot. So if you're looking into one of these shoes for working out, I think the UltraRange EXO is going to be your better bet. Plus, with the Rapidweld here with this exposed foam, I'm not super stoked on the overall traction you're going to get with this shoe when you're training both indoors and outdoors from a performance and long-term durability context. When it comes to daily wear and casual wear, all of these shoes work really well. Now, I am more partial to the VR3 and the UltraRange EXO. I like the VR3 a lot because it's super comfortable, and with this booty style construction, it's very easy to slip on, so I like that a lot about this shoe. Plus, I can rock this shoe barefoot, and it doesn't stink over time because the knit breathes well enough, so I'm a big fan of that too. So if you do have stinky feet and you like to go sockless like me and you don't learn your lesson, the VR3 might be the better option to look into. My only gripe with the VR3 for daily wear and casual wear is it does have a pretty aggressive taper up here through the toe box. So if you have a wider foot, you might want to consider that before investing in the shoe because you might actually spill over with this knit upper. Now this upper will, yes, break in and give you additional room when it comes to volume, but with this taper, I'm not convinced that wider feet are going to feel comfortable in this shoe for daily wear. Now the UltraRange EXO works really well for daily wear. My only gripe with this model is that the toe can feel a little bit limiting at times. So if you like a little bit more room, you might want to consider that with this shoe. I like wearing them for working out and for shorter durations, but if I'm wearing them all day and standing on my feet, the toe box can be a little bit annoying at times. The shoe says it has an anatomical fit, but I'm calling kind of BS because if you're used to barefoot shoes or wider shoes at that, like from Ultra, I don't think you're gonna really like the toe box in this shoe because it does have a slightly lower volume and it doesn't have the most width. And now the Rapidweld does an okay job for daily wear and casual wear. You could definitely rock them out and about and they should be casual, but I'd say if you don't have a narrow foot, you might want to pass on this model. With its low upper volume, I'm not convinced that wider feet or even thicker feet at that will feel comfortable in the shoe, so definitely tread lightly if you're considering the Rapidweld for daily wear, especially when there are two options that I think excel a little bit more than the Rapidweld regarding its overall performance and comfort for daily wear. So when chatting on the pricing differences of these shoes, you can expect to pay 100 USD for the EXO, 90 USD for the Rapidweld, and 120 USD for the VR3. Now when talking about your best bang for your buck shoe up here for the money, I think that's going to be the EXO. You get a little bit more out of the shoe, and I think it's a little bit more well-rounded regarding how you can use them. Like some folks use these for hiking and love them, some folks work out in them, some folks wear them for daily wear like myself, and I've really enjoyed the shoe, and it's done a pretty good job regarding its durability. The Rapidweld, sure, it's $10 less, however, it feels like a kind of a stripped down version of the EXO, and I feel like if you're going to drop that money, you might as well get the better fitting and more higher performance shoe. And then the VR3, the price point is okay if you want a knit booty style shoe, however, I'm already having once again durability issues up here with that exposed foam. So I think if you're going to invest in one of these shoes and you don't want to drop for multiple shoes, I would say go with the EXO because I think you're going to get the best bang for your buck regarding the price points. So when it comes to the sizing and fit of the UltraRange EXO, UltraRange Rapidweld, and UltraRange VR3, you're going to want to size these shoes a little bit differently. Over here in the EXO and in the Rapidweld, I would suggest that most folks go up a half size to a full size. Now, if you have a narrow foot, you might be safe going true to size. However, if you have a medium or neutral width foot or a slightly wider foot like myself, you're going to want to go up a half size, and if you like additional room in your toe box, go up a full size. I think these shoes run a little bit short regarding their length, and if you size up, you should also get a little bit more room in your toe box, which could also be a good thing. In the VR3, this model fits a little bit more true. I think most folks and most foot anatomies should be safe going true to size in this model. Now, once again, if you have notably wide feet, you might want to pass on this model because of its pretty excessive toe box taper here. Alright, so when it comes to the weight, heel, toe drop, and insole differences of these models, for my size 10 VR3 here, we have a weight of 9.95 ounces. For my size 10 Rapidweld shoe, we have a weight of 8.6 ounces. And then over here in my UltraRange EXO, we have a weight of 8.8 ounces. All of these shoes don't have specified heel to toe drops, however, they do feel like 0 millimeters. If anything, the VR3 might have a slight elevation, but if I had to guess, it likely has a 0 drop construction like most Vans shoes, and none of these models have removable insoles, which is also problematic for folks with their own inserts or orthotics that they want to use, because with the low profile uppers of the Rapidweld and the EXO here, I'm not convinced you'll have enough room, so definitely consider that before investing in one of these shoes. Alright, so now let's do a quick construction overview of these models. So looking at the toe boxes of these shoes, in the Rapidweld you have a light synthetic layer and then you have a mesh upper. In the EXO you have a more like rubber toe cap construction around the entirety of the shoe. It's a little bit more rigid. And then over here in the VR3 you have a knit upper. This is super lightweight and super breathable. Looking at the upper constructions as a whole, you have a mesh upper that extends in the Rapidweld to the heel, and then you have a bit more of a boot cut back here and a little bit more structure with an external heel tab. Over here in the EXO, you also have a mesh upper with a more rigid boot back here with a heel tab. In the VR3, you have a knit upper that extends the entirety of the shoe, and you have that booty style construction with an additional heel tab. I covered the lacing systems already in this video, but over here in the Rapidweld, you have 6 core eyelets that go up, and then you have a slightly thicker mesh tongue that is gusseted. In the UltraRange EXO, you have 7 core eyelets with the 8th back here for lace lock. You also have a thin mesh tongue that does have a gusset. And then over here in the VR3, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 core eyelets that go up. And then once again, you have that booty style construction. Looking at the midsoles of these shoes, over here in the Rapidweld and the EXO, you have that ultralight cush midsole. And then over here in the VR3, you have that VR3 cush midsole. So once again, the VR3 does have a slightly higher stack height compared to these other two models. So if you want a little bit more cushion with your shoes, the VR3 might be the option to go with. Plus you do get a little bit more arch support in the VR3, which is something that the Rapidweld and EXO don't necessarily have. Looking at the outsole constructions, over here in the Rapidweld, you have a lug patterning and then you have some exposed foam here in the midfoot. The patterning and tread is pretty consistent throughout. In the UltraRange EXO, and this is where you can kind of see that this model is designed to be a little bit wider or more anatomical in Vans words, you have this lug patterning with this reverse waffle outsole. And then over here in the VR3, you once again have that waffle tread patterning with these exposed foam layers here. Now, I don't know if you could see that, but the foam up here in my forefoot of this model is starting to break down and fray a little bit. So you can start to see that it's getting scuffed and kind of broken down as I wear them more. But overall, I think those are the biggest construction callouts to note about these shoes. The VR3 does have a little bit more of like a sustainability edge to it. However, if you want a model that's going to be a little bit better once again for everything, the EXO and Rapidweld will be the call regarding their constructions. And these models once again don't have removable insoles, but if you have additional construction questions on any of these shoes, drop a comment down below. Alright y'all, that wraps up this Vans UltraRange Showdown. Overall, I think these shoes all have their own lists of pros and cons. However, if I had to pick a favorite shoe that I like to wear the most often, it's definitely going to be the EXO, then followed by the VR3, and then lastly the Rapidweld, who feels like the little brother of these shoes that is sure there, but like he doesn't really contribute anything to the situation. But if you have additional questions on either of these models, drop a comment down below or reach out to me personally, whichever you prefer. And if you wear one of these shoes and if you love them for different contexts and different activities, let me know in the comments below. But as always guys, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.